Hello and welcome to episode 86 of Tom's Hirschsprung's podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by two guests this afternoon. I am joined by both Kirstie and Aubrey. Welcome to the podcast, both of you.
Hi.
Now, this is a unique story that I'm fascinated to find out about, as I'm sure everybody listening is as well, because you both have Hirschsprungs,
Yeah,
but you both have very different types of Hirschsprungs and very different stories that I'll presume we'll go through in time. So I will leave it to you to start off.
yeah. Kirstie, I was born with long segment Hirschsprungs. I've lived a very normal life. For someone who's got Hirschsprungs, I'm very much a success story for Hirschsprungs, definitely. And then I had my son. He's 14. He does not have Hirschsprungs. Everything is fine, normal. And then we had this one. And Aubrey has something quite like you said, something unusual. She has total intestinal aganglionosis, which basically means that she has Hirschsprungs in all of the small and large intestine. Nothing is unaffected. So yeah, she has the most severe type of Hirschsprung she can get.
Yeah, and that's I mean we were just talking a little bit off air and trying to sort of work out just how rare that is because I know the general rule and general consensus is 1 in 5,000. How true, false that is, I don't think we'll ever know the real number. But to have TIA, I won't go through the whole name because I'll never pronounce it correctly. Um, to have TIA, we were thinking around 1 in 1 million. I mean,
Yeah,
we're talking, rarest of rare types of Hirschsprungs here,
yeah,
which is ph phenomenally rare.
yeah.
So I guess in terms of Aubrey's story, I know you said you had a son as well that doesn't have Hirschsprungs.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll kind of start with Aubrey's story and Aubrey being born.
Yeah, so I had a totally normal pregnancy. And that in itself is is good because I know that a lot of people with Hirschsprungs do struggle with fertility and things like that. Unfortunately, I know that I've met a few people who have, but I've never had that problem. And I know that that's something that a lot of people will be happy to hear because I know that a lot of people with little girls probably do worry, but I've never had any problems like that. No fertility problems. Everything was smooth pregnancy, nothing. Actually, when I was pregnant with my son, I actually did speak to a doctor about Hirschsprung's disease, and he just turned around and said, "Your child will not have Hirschsprung's." A lot of doctors still believe that it's not genetic, um, but I knew it was. I think it's quite obvious that it is, in my opinion. Um, so then when I had Aubrey, we didn't really talk about it much. It wasn't ever really brought up. I think that's something that really needs to change. That's something that I'm really passionate that needs to change. I think that when doctors need to be more aware of women who have Hirschsprungs, that it can happen. Because, like I say, I was totally blindsided by this. Not blindsided in the fact that she had Hirschsprungs, but I think obviously what actually happened, I was. Um, and then I had her, she was fine. Her APGAR score was actually really, really good. She was really, really, really healthy. She was born at 37 weeks, but that was just because of me. I had like a liver problem. I can't remember what it's called, like it's a pregnancy thing, but she was fine. Got induced, she was fine. Got like a 9 APGAR score. She looked really good. She was chunky. She was great. And then it was just perfect. I can't, everything just went so perfect. And I think it was about when she was about 12 hours old, I want to say. She'd not pooed. And obviously I knew that that was the Hirschsprung thing, and I already was panic. I remember I kept looking in the nappy. I kept smelling like phantom smells and thinking, she's had a poo, and I was so excited. And I said to my ex-partner, I was like, she's not pooed, and he was like, she's okay, everything's all right. And then she vomited. She did the vomit, the black vomit. And then after that, it went really, really quick. It was just really crazy. Like the doctor came in, grabbed her, ran to the NICU with her. started doing x-rays, and then they came to me and said, we don't think anything's wrong, there's not a blockage. But obviously, like, I knew that they still talk about it like they don't really know what it is, and I don't blame them, but I knew that's what it was. But then unfortunately there was no, where I had her, they don't operate on babies. So we had to go to Alder Hay. That's where they took us, because there was no beds in Manchester. So we went up in Alder Hay. She got blue lighted to Alder Hay, and then we travelled up, and we met Dr. Kenny. He came up to meet us. And he was sort of doing all of the normal tests, like checking that she had a rectum, or checking that all of the usual things. Took her for an X-ray, and he sort of said to me, I said to him, it's Hirschsprung's. And he said to me, oh, what makes you think that? And I said, I've got Hirschsprung's. And that's when the balls, he was like, right, okay. That's when the balls sort of started rolling. And I think it's all a blur, Tom. So I'm just gonna have to just tell you little bits that I remember, really. He took her for an X-ray, and he sort of came that night. This was when she was 1 day old, and he said that her bowel looked weird on the X-ray. He said that it looked like it hadn't developed much since she was in my belly, really. He said it was like a worm. He said it was that thin. So then I think the next day she went for operations. They put in a central line and started her on TPN, because obviously she couldn't eat, she wasn't taking anything. And I think he sort of suspected it at that point, but obviously you don't know, you're not 100% sure. So he did live biopsies with the what's it called, the lab,
Um,
the
yeah,
lab, sending them
yeah,
off.
yeah.
And he said that he just kept going and going and going and going and going, and there was nothing there. I think from what I remember, I think he did quite a lot, but then they stopped, and then they took her back the next day, and he said there's none there. So then he sort of started talking to me, but about TPN, about what that meant, about how they'd probably have to get in contact with Birmingham to get a scene for a bowel transplant, to just get her assessed. And it was just, as you can imagine, it was just like, oh my God, it was just awful. I remember they took her in, then they took her in a couple of days after, because they needed to put in tubes. They put in tubes in her stomach and the end of her bowel. Instead of a stoma, she had sort of these, like, she had Foley catheters, basically, one coming out of her stomach, one coming out of her bowel, that drain into a bag. And I just remember that day my mum and dad came down to take us for a walk when it was happening, because I was just, oh, as you can imagine, I was just like a mess. We were walking around, just like, we didn't know where we were. Obviously we didn't know Liverpool, just walking around, and I got a call, and I honestly, I thought she'd gone. I honestly, because they called me straight away, and I remember saying, she's gone, because that's how ill she was. I think I was just, it sounds awful, but I was just so expecting it. And we ran back, and that's when he sort of like, it's bad. It's bad. And he came in, and like when a doctor comes in and puts his arm around you, it's not good.
Yeah, it's never
uh,
a good sign.
no, no, never makes it. I mean, but he was fantastic. But I think he could tell that even he felt it. It was a scary thing. Um, but then after that, it was sort of it was hard. But then I remember everyone sort of started changing the tune and was sort of like, right, this is the cards we've been dealt. Let's get on with it, and let's just get her as well as she can. So she started TPN. So that's like a feed, intravenous like feeding. Um, and then eventually we got to Manchester after a month in Alder Hay. We went to Manchester. And yeah, that's when the recovery started. She was in for 7 months. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's been on TPN now since 1 day old.
Right.
She has a stoma now. The tubes were removed eventually. I think she was about 4 when we finally got to get rid of the tubes, got a Mickey button instead and a stoma instead, which is so much better. That those tubes, she was like, so for like 4 years, she had like these big tubes coming out of her with like drainage bags on the end, and that was just a nightmare. I don't think we could have carried on like that, but she's done really well. Like they said that she wouldn't be able to eat ever because if she ate, her output would be too much. She'd become dehydrated, but she eats a lot. She eats, don't you? I know that for some it's different, which is what I was saying. Like, even with people who have TIA, their story will be different than somebody else's, which is just the crazy thing about Hirschsprung's, because I know that some people don't eat at all. But Aubrey loves a McDonald's, don't you? And I think that's sort of like the thing about Hirschsprung. She can't ever, like, even a doctor now always says to me, like, you can't compare one child to another. And in some ways, I find that really, really frustrating because obviously I've made loads of friends. I've like lots of TIA friends. And if you get advice off one, you could take it to your doctor and it won't apply to your child because your child's so different. And it's absolutely crazy how they're all just so different. Like you were saying, it's just absolutely mad. But the people that we met, and I know that you were talking about like the older Hay meetup and everything, I was saying that the people that we met, like, Samuel's mum, Sharon, honestly, like, I don't know what we would have done without meeting people. It was just such a hard time. But then hearing these stories and seeing these things, like we've had moments where a doctor said to us, we need to remove a gallbladder because she's got gallstones. And I've gotten then to these people that I know and said, tell what do you think about this? What have you been told? And then someone will turn around to me and say, I don't think you should do that because this is what I found out. And then I took it back to my doctor and we've made these decisions. And I honestly think that's why she's so well, because we all work together to realize maybe we shouldn't do that, maybe we should do that. And I think getting out there and getting a community and finding out things, you can't, it does take a village to do this. And I think you can't, research is so important. I spent hours researching everything. From the moment she was born, I was just trying to find people. I knew that there must be more people out there like Aubrey. Um, and I was just sat on my phone in Old Hay, just like trying to find people, like posting on all the groups. Has anyone's child got this? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's just been so helpful. It really has. And I think that her hospitals have learned things because she does things that she's not supposed to do, like eat. And we're just so thankful that she's doing so well because she really is. She's doing really, really well. And maybe I wish that I could go back now to when she was born and see us now, because even though the diagnosis is bad, it it's not that black cloud that
Mm.
I thought it was going to be. We live a life. She lives a life. She goes to school. She goes to mainstream school. Um, she, if you saw her, you wouldn't think that there's anything wrong with her at all. A lot of people are shocked when they find out there's something wrong with her.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, when people talk about Hirschsprungs, and if you were to line 10 people up in a row and pick the one who has Hirschsprungs, you wouldn't have a clue.
Well, it's a blessing and a curse, though, because I know that she doesn't get a lot of the help that she needs a lot of the time because people think she looks so well. We've had fights, and I think that a lot of people will understand like EHCP in school, trying to get her the help that she needs because she looks so well. Trying to explain to people that if she comes home and gets hooked up to pumps and fed, they don't understand because she eats as well. And it's just trying to talk to people about it. It's yeah, it's really difficult, but we're glad you're well, aren't we? She's very well.
So good to hear. I mean, I hear so many different Hirschsprung stories, and this is why I really wanted to have both of you on because
Mhm.
this is not just a different Hirschsprung story. This is, I mean, we were talking, rarest of rare stories. And Aubrey, I'll come to you, give you a chance to chat as well. I guess when people say, "Oh, your Hirschsprungs is really, really rare," do you like being really, really rare,
Yeah.
or is it you like being really rare? What do you like about it?
I don't know.
You like being different, don't
Yeah,
you?
I like being different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it kind of make you think actually I'm more special in a way?
Yeah.
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 Fantastic. Excellent. Yeah. No, because it is very yeah, I don't like the phrase very unique, but it is incredibly unique and rare. And I guess have you ever come across anybody else with TIA?
We went to she has met Samuel.
Right.
We went down to one of the charities parties, so that was nice. We actually have a picture of all of the TIA children. Um, I think it's on Samuel's Facebook, I think. I'll have to send it to you. And
Yeah.
it's a picture of like all of the little TIA babies, and they're all girls, which is crazy because Hirschsprung's is more prevalent in boys. So I don't know. This was about 5 years ago, but all of the babies that were there with TIA are girls.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
apart
really
from Samuel,
interesting.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
no, you're right when you say it is more prevalent in boys because I think it's
I think actually all the children that I've met, bar one, have been girls who've got this.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting. I don't know because I had a speaking to somebody else about this, and they had a theory that you that even though it's more prevalent in boys, I think it's three in every four Hirschsprung cases are boys. Girls potentially are more open about it, so you might see um, more girls who talk about having it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there are it's less of a split, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes you wonder whether it gets more severe in girl. Obviously, I'm just brainstorming, but I think we were told by genetics that from what they've seen, it seems to get worse as it goes down the line in a family. But then again, Samuel's had a baby and it's not got TIA, so I don't think that is a thing.
Yeah,
But that just blows my mind that she might be able to have a baby who doesn't have it as severe as her. It blows my mind that
I
she
think
could technically have a baby that's got it less severe than her.
yeah,
It's just a crazy disease. But um it's so interesting, and I know that the teams that are involved in it are so passionate about it, but it's just such a shame that it's not got the attention that it needs because I really do think that I'm hoping that maybe in Aubrey's lifetime or maybe Aubrey's children's lifetime they come up with something that can help. But we're still, even though she's doing so well, we're there for like every 2 weeks she's having bloods because TPN affects the liver. It puts a lot of strain on the liver. So at the moment, we're watching very closely because her liver's quite high. We've been to Birmingham for a transplant assessment when she was a baby. And she still sees Birmingham now, like every couple of years, she sees them because I know that that's a possibility that one day she may need a bowel transplant.
yeah.
But the way I see it, I try and I'm not always positive. Trust my mum and dad will tell you that I'm not always positive. But the way I try and see it is at least is there's options. If something happens with a liver, there's an option, and that's what I always hold on to. There's things that we can do. It's not sort of end of line. These things that we can do, but like this, when they're a baby, I feel like it's so much worse. Like pulling lines, she had so many different lines. She got central lines, so she used to pull them. They used to tug. She used to get infections. But this line that she's got now, she's had it for 4 years, I think. So it gets easier as they get older, definitely, really does.
Good.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it really does. But like
No,
there's been I still see doctors now, and I'm 37, and I think recently I actually saw a doctor. Oh no, it was when I went to see Aubrey's surgeon. He said that he'd never met an adult with Hirschsprung's, so it's still really like I still meet people who say, oh, I've never heard of Hirschsprung's, I've never seen Hirschsprung's, I've never met anyone with Hirschsprung's, and it still blows doctors' minds when I bring her in and I say I've got Hirschsprung's. Um, it's still, even though it's like we were saying, you feel like you meet so many people with Hirschsprung's, it's still at that point where people are just like, you've got Hirschsprung, she's got Hirschsprung, and it blows people's minds when I tell them, and people are always so interested.
absolutely. And it's
Mm.
we were talking a little bit off air about genetics as well. and I know you wanted to share a little bit of
Mhm.
a really interesting um,
Mhm.
bit about genetics that you found out, but it kind of it's very surprising when I hear, and it's not just you that's told me this, but other people as well. When doctors say to them, "Oh, your child won't have Hirschsprungs. You have it, but you've had a child without Hirschsprungs, so this child won't have Hirschsprungs." And I just think being so definitive and saying this will happen or this won't happen is such a dangerous road to go down because very clearly when they said Aubrey won't have Hirschsprungs, very clearly they were wrong. So I just
Yeah.
that kind of definitive is really, really difficult.
Yeah, like you say, it really is dangerous because even though I knew that it was genetics, what if I didn't? And even at that point, even though I did, it was still a massive shock. And I do think, like I said to you, I think a lot more needs to be put into informing people with Hirschsprung what can happen, what can happen. Not to scare them. And I would, obviously I would still have had Aubrey and everything, all that. But I kind of wish that I was more prepared
Mm.
um in it. I'm lucky that I had the support of my family and I had the support of a dad and I had the support of people that I could get through it. But it just scares me just to think if you couldn't, or it's just so yeah, they really need to be more, people need to be more aware of it, definitely. And yeah, it's just crazy. It's just I'm still I'm still sometimes just shocked that it all happened, honestly. But like you can tell, she's fine.
A little bit sleepy, but fine.
Oh no, she's never tired. But I blame the TPN because the TPN's got so much sugar in it. So we always say like we think it's like giving her a Red Bull. She goes on a TPN at 8 o'clock and she's like, it's like she's had a Red Bull, isn't it? I actually she's really good with the TPN though. It's got like she can still walk around on it. It's we were dead worried. We thought she was going to be hooked up to like a drip stand all day, but she has a little backpack that you can put it in, and yeah, it's just part of her. I think it'd be weird not doing it now. It really just becomes part of your life.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, Hirschsprung's? Because when all three of us got Hirschsprung's or were
Mhm.
diagnosed with Hirschsprung's,
Mhm.
we were too young to register it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I know you've seen it, Kirsty, from both points of view as a patient and as a mother as well.
yeah,
So you view probably slightly differently from this because you've seen it from both ends. But when we're all diagnosed with Hirschsprung's, we all have it. We don't know any different. So I
no.
guess we have no choice really but to sort of crack on with life.
It's definitely made me have a lot more like respect for my mum and dad for what they went through because I also think that it must have been a little bit worse for them because I I knew what Hirschsprung's was and I lived in a time when we had social media and I could get in contact with other people. They was just totally, they couldn't do that. There was nothing like that. And they'd never heard of Hirschsprung's before. So I can't imagine how scary it must be for, and even now for like families who have a baby and it's got Hirschsprung's, can't imagine how scary that is,
Yeah.
not knowing what it is. Because if anything, I knew what I was dealing with, um, which made it, even though it was hard, it made it easier because I knew what Hirschsprung's was. I knew what life would look like, not in the TPN side, but I was sort of, I was kind of ready for it if you can be. I had it in my mind that it could happen. So I have a lot of respect for people who it just happens to. I can't imagine how, as a sporadic thing, I just can't even imagine.
No, I mean I speak to so many people on here where they have no Hirschsprungs in the family whatsoever, and then they have a child, and then have all of the sort of well, sometimes they have all of the symptoms, sometimes they don't, and
Hmm.
then they hear this word Hirschsprungs, and it's not used in everyday life, or certainly it might be in
No,
our everyday life, but it's not
yeah,
in everybody else. And I just, yeah, I don't know how that would feel. I mean, I've spoken to
yeah.
people that, and they tell me how it feels, but I
That
don't.
we can't ever
Yeah,
imagine because we'd always be a little bit prepared for it or
absolutely.
know about it.
Yeah.
Um, I know that like a lot of the good thing is I think that when I don't know about you, Tom, but when I was had mine, they didn't really know what was wrong with me. They opened me up a lot.
Mm.
I had a lot of operation. They thought I had cystic fibrosis. They thought I had all these things. So I've got lots and lots of scars. She's got less scars than me. She's got one like perfect one, and I'm just covered in them. Because they didn't know what it was. But the good thing is now, I think when you go in with these symptoms, when a baby throws up, they're like Hirschsprung, or at least they check for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Um,
that's where everything's come along um, a lot more. But when I speak to people like you and me and people of our era, we have like these massive scars. I presume
yeah,
you're sort of similar, where it's sort of all across the stomach
yeah,
and all over the place. Whereas now, I mean, pull-throughs are being done through keyhole surgery.
yeah,
So you've got
yeah.
this little like tiny scar, and I'm thinking, I
Her
mean,
scar's hidden by a stoma bag. It's that small, like you can't
wow.
she can't see it. If when she's got a stoma bag on, you can't see it. And then I'm like next to her, and I'm like, look at me.
Yeah, yeah, and it's, but that shows. I'm really glad in a way with that because that shows real progress.
Yeah,
That in 30 odd years, you know, things have really moved on to the point where you're having sort of these little scars, and it's not because scars can be a funny one. Scars can kind of be, people can embrace them, people can not like them. So to have them sort of smaller and more discreet, I think is yeah, really
I know that it
interesting.
bothered me a lot when I was younger. Um, and I think that I still remember this, even though I don't remember much about being in old hay, because I think you go into some sort of like, into a hole when your child's ill. I remember when Dr. Kenny came down and he said, we're going to operate. He must have thought I was mad. Looking back, he must have thought, why is this woman worried about this, like out of everything? But I said to him, I said, can you please, please, please make sure that you do a, can you do a small scarf or can you do it neat as you possibly can? And then I showed him my belly and I said, because I really don't want her to have to go through what I've gone through in my life. And he did. And her scar's perfect. But I always think he must have thought this really isn't important, but it was to me because I just thought I really didn't want her to have to go through that. Because
Yeah,
when you remember things that bothered you, you think, and I just thought, but he did it really, really well. So I'm really, really pleased. Even though it's such a small drop in the ocean, I know that I just didn't want her to have to go through that amongst other or everything else she's got going on. Um, and I don't think it would have bothered her to be honest. She's so she doesn't care. She just gets on with it. She's so amazing, and people comment on it all the time. How good she is. She's so good in hospital. In hospital though, because she's in so often, they're like family to us now. She knows the more she walks around like she owns the place. That's what everyone laughs about. She's like, when she's in, she thinks she's the queen of the ward, don't you? But I am. But I am. But she loves it, and she actually doesn't mind because she's just grown. Attention. You get a lot of attention, don't you, off the nurses? So yeah, it's just we do have a success story really, even with this type. I'd say we have problems. Every day is not good. Um, we have problems, stomas. Stomas are the bane of my life at the moment. Um, stomas exploding, stomas leaking. That's about it. A TPN, like the important crazy stuff, that's fine. That's easy. That takes 10 minutes every night, set it up. You have to be sterile and everything, but we've got it down. I think I could do it blindfolded now. Um, do that. But it's just the stomas.
yeah.
There's a picture of me when I was a baby with my stoma, and honestly, they're no different to how they were 37 years ago. Like it looks exactly the same. They've not come on much at all, have these stomas. It's just
They are what they are. I think I'm not
yeah.
sure that they.
Literally
I'm
just
not
yeah,
sure
there's
that.
not much more they could do. They
No,
just
I think
exist. Yeah, they do. They just exist. That's all.
yeah,
What do you feel about your stoma? Good. You don't mind your stoma, do you? Hey? No, she's not bothered.
no.
No.
But they are so. And again, I don't know whether it's just because of the bubble we're in, but I see people with stomas all the time for
Yeah.
all sorts of conditions. It's not
Yeah.
just Hirschsprung's. And again, when I don't know if you were the same as me, but when I had my stoma at 9, I thought, well, a stoma is associated with people with Hirschsprungs,
Mhm.
and that was it. I didn't realize other conditions had stomas as well. Were you aware as well, or?
Yeah, well, I had my pull through when I was about four, three, four. Um, so I don't even remember having a stoma, to be honest. I don't
Ah,
remember having it. Um, but I think, yeah, I understand what you mean. But yeah, I think I always thought that it was just Hirschsprung when you have bowel problems, just Hirschsprung. But Instagram's an amazing thing now because we watch people who've got there's that stoma babe. So she's like she looks like a Barbie, and she loves watching her. And Mr. Crohn's and colitis, she loves watching his videos. Do you know that man that we watched the other day with the stoma? Do you remember? Yeah. So I like showing her that, and she's really really nonchalant about her stoma. I think she just knows she's just like this is my stoma. I always say to her, "Are people nice at school?" Yeah. Does anyone ever ask about it? Yeah, and I just tell them. I just tell them that I poo in my stoma. She just you don't mind, do you? She'll show it. She has it out, or she'll tuck it in. She doesn't mind walking around with it, and I'm so like pedantic about not making her put it in, not making her tuck it in because I just don't ever want her to think she needs to. I want her to always know that if she wants to wear it out, she can wear it out. Do what you want because I never want to knock this confidence that she's got.
absolutely.
And I hope no one ever does because I just think you just need to just make sure that they're so comfortable. Um, but I've always been really obsessed with just making sure that she just doesn't let it hold her back. Doesn't let she does everything that other children do. Um, and this is the first time I've actually ever sat and spoke about her having Hirschsprungs because I used to be like, oh, I don't. When she was little, obviously she doesn't mind now. In a way, she can sort of give consent about it because she knows what we're talking about. She knows that we're coming on here and talking about it. But I used to be, I didn't like sharing about it when she was younger. Just because, not because I was ashamed or anything, but just thought that it was her issues. But she is so aware of it now and she likes to talk about it. She doesn't hide it. And I'm really proud of her. I
That's
am.
brilliant. And I guess one of the questions I was going to ask for you as well, Aubrey, like if somebody said to you, "What's Hirschsprung's?" What do because most people have, apart from us, haven't really heard of it. If somebody said to you, like one of your friends said, "What's Hirschsprung's?" What do you say? Because I can't remember what I said when I was your age.
Well, I'd say like it's a disease that I have, and they give me a stoma so like, I can poo well, and so I survive as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great explanation. I don't think I'd have come up with anything so eloquent at your age.
Because
And I
you,
think that's brilliant because I think that's always I mean that's got to be a tricky one where because I can't imagine many of your friends have heard of the word Hirschsprungs before you had it.
I think mostly you get asked about your bag, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't put your nose. And what do you say about your bag when your friends say, "What's that?"
I thought that it's like a thing
Speak up.
so I can poop with yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
can
no,
poop.
I think that's the simpler the better sometimes. I think that's a brilliant
And
explanation.
she empties it herself in school, don't you? Goes to the toilet and empties it,
Mm-hmm.
don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, she's really grown up about it now. She has somebody in school who helps change it, but she empties it herself.
That's fantastic.
Um, and she's come on. Like I say, I wish I could go back 8 years and show myself Aubrey now.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. But it does get better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess on that point, if there will possibly be somebody um, listening to this who may have a child with Hirschsprung's long segment TIA, what would you, if you could go back and say to them, what would you say to them?
I'd say reach out to people. Like I
Mm.
say, the Hirschsprung's community is amazing and it's helped. I can't even, like I said, I cannot tell you how much people have helped me.
Yeah,
Um, and contact people, ask for help, don't be embarrassed, because people want to help. People who I've met through having Aubrey have been the nicest people I've ever met. And I'm friends with them, like we WhatsApp. I've got like people that I WhatsApp, and they've turned it. We don't just talk about Hirschsprungs now, like we're friends. And then it gets better. It really, really does. Every day it does. You might feel like your world has ended. That's what I did. I could not imagine how we were going to cope. It was really, really, really bad. I remember the nurse said to my ex, he said, like, we're more worried about Kirstie than we are about Aubrey at the moment, because I wouldn't eat. It was just awful. But it gets better. It really, really does.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think you'll look back and you'll think, gosh, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I went through that. But you can do it. You definitely can do it. And yeah.
yeah. I think it's
Definitely reach
amazing.
out.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes the amount of strength we
You can have.
find,
Hmm.
whether it's with people with Hirschsprungs or whether it's as a parent.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of strength I've seen in people to get through something that I don't think they could have ever imagined would happen, but they've got through.
Even up until 4 years ago, when I became single, I didn't think that I was going to be able to do this on my own again. It felt like I'd just got everything down. Everything was fine, and then I ended up being on my own. And even then, I thought, I cannot do this. I cannot look after this child on my own. But you can. You can. So it's like every life is going to throw things at you, but you can do it. And I think sometimes I just surprise myself sometimes and think, can't believe I did that. Can't believe I'm doing that every night. Can't believe I'm doing that. But you do it, don't you?
You spit on me.
Just sorry. But you can do it, can't
Yeah.
you? And she's funny. She's just like my friend, really, aren't you? Yeah.
I'm funny.
You are funny. Yeah.
But that's fantastic, and it's so good to hear, because I think a lot of people, undoubtedly, they message you, they message me, and they want, you know, stories about Hirschsprungs. Obviously, we can't tell them what's going to happen in the future. That would be silly, but we can always offer some good news stories.
Yeah.
And this is why I really wanted you both on, because you both, have been through a lot of things that people would have never been through in their
Mhm.
life, never even heard of in their life.
Yeah.
But you face them head on and are doing really, really well with them. And I think that's such an amazing and powerful story to have. And not just Hirschsprungs, but two different types of Hirschsprung,
Yeah.
and not just two different types, but two, like, really,
Yeah.
one incredibly rare type.
When
That
people do message me, I try and just always give the good, because I feel like there's so much bad that they hear enough of that.
Yeah,
And I think sometimes you just need someone to say it's going to be all right.
yeah, yeah,
And
and sometimes to kind of just say, not to give advice or anything like
Mhm.
that, because we're not doctors or
Mhm.
nurses or whatever, but just to kind of go, well, this is what's happened to me, and this is kind of what's going on in the future. Just so,
Yeah.
and it's difficult, and I know you said about your situation when Aubrey was first diagnosed, and you're thinking, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Where's the good news story that's like mine?
Mhm.
And social media is brilliant for that. Really, really is.
Oh, finding that good news story with all of them. Um, it was I don't think I could even put into words how like I know that you're doing that. Like I said, you're doing that Hirschsprung family thing, and it's just going to be so life changing to people, because it really is. And I think if you haven't been through it, you don't understand how much you need it. You really do. You
No, you
really,
don't.
really do. And even now, I like when I'm in hospital, I'm always messaging them. Like I say, it's just so important. It really, really is.
Yeah,
Seeing children that had grown up and that were like Aubrey, seeing them get married, do things. I don't even think they understand what it's like to watch them do well. And then you can think and then it gives you hope. You think, yeah, I didn't think I'd ever be able to see these things, but then you think, well, look at them doing that. She can do it.
yeah,
And It really, really does give you hope. It really, really does. And I think that it's just so valuable.
Mm.
It really, really is.
Absolutely. And just while we've got sort of 5 more minutes or so, just kind of a word on the future, I guess, for both of you, really, in terms of your respective conditions. What do you kind of see, I guess, for the future for you, Kirstie, and Aubrey for your future as well?
So I have, even though I am a success story, I've been having a few little problems. I think it's probably as I'm getting, I've done so well, and I think, um, I don't know. I've not seen a genetic gastro since I was 15, and I'm 37 now. So I've done really, really well. But I had my gallbladder out in August, and obviously bile and everything like that. I've been having a few problems, so I wondered genetics again, and it was looking like maybe I could need a temporary stoma, possibly. But I'm still, but I think because of Aubrey, I don't mind having a stoma. God, I can't imagine what it'd be like with both of us. Can you? But yeah, but I'm doing well apart from that. It's just, it might not be. Just trying to get to the bottom of it, a few niggles. But with you, I think I'm just gonna have to, I don't know, I think she's doing really well. Hopefully it continues. Can't touch wood. Yeah, just got to sort of navigate the 6 weeks holidays. That's the thing I'm most scared about right now.
Well, we've filled up 45 minutes of your 6 weeks, so
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
but
Aubrey, she's dying to ask. She wants to say something. What do you want to say?
go for it.
You had someone called Zoe Coletti.
Yes, I know Zoe. I know Zoe.
She-
Yeah, Zoe's fantastic.
She's a YouTuber that I like watching.
She's brilliant. She's absolutely fantastic. Yes,
Yes.
Zoe's been on the podcast before, and
We're gonna listen to it. We'll listen to it after this. Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
um, at the Alder Hay conference as well, and she gave a brilliant speech about her life. Zoe's fantastic.
She was
She's
just very
very
excited at the
popular.
prospect that she might watch this and realise who Aubrey is.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we can certainly message her. She
Yeah.
might be listening now.
Yeah. Yeah. She wants to watch. She wants to play Dress to Impress with her, which is on again on
Oh,
mobile.
I have seen the YouTube channel. I have no idea what Dress to Impress is. I just have seen
It's a
the
game,
start
isn't
of it.
it? Yeah. But say
But
thank you to Tom for
no,
having us.
no, not at all. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming on. It's been so good to hear
Yeah, it's been nice
your
to meet you
story,
too, isn't it?
and both of you. And I guess it just leaves me really to say that I wish you both very, very best in
Thank you.
whatever you do in the future. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.